Hey everybody, John Hinds here, Monkey Bar Gym, and today I want to talk a little bit about range of motion and how important it is for physical, mental, and spiritual health. Now, there's lots of different exercises that help people gain range of motion and get to a full range of motion, but really what it is, a lot of people don't really understand, is there's passive range of motions where people can do static stretches and they're hypermobile. They take the joint past its normal range of motion. That's dancers, martial artists do this, gymnasts do this, and a lot of sports people just stretch so much that their joints become loose, and it's called joint laxity. This creates a problem where the joint isn't tight and in fact it's loose, and then when they do something dynamic, they got problems. So that's why gymnasts, martial artists, dancers, and other people that hyper stretch like that, they can run into some joint issues at some time in their life. So then there is active range of motion. Now, a lot of people think that's just stuff like this. No, that doesn't mean active. That's a dynamic range of motion. That's a dynamic, can be stretch or just movement patterns. But what I'm talking about is active alignment. So you want to be able to get into a position and be engaged in it, not hang in it, but be engaged. And it's something that all animals on the planet do, except humans. Humans do static stretching more than they do active alignment. So what's the difference between the two? Static stretching, for example, if I do something like, if I hang and I grab my foot and I just hang out, that's a static stretch. Something like this, where I'm just hanging and pulling, that's a static stretch. Active, we do it every day when we yawn. We just pull our arms back like this, that's active. There's also other ways to do active poses. I can still do the same pose like this, but I'm actively bringing my chest towards my feet. I'm actively working my hands into the ground. So that's an example of active versus static. Active is natural. All animals on the planet do it. Static is not natural. Humans are the only ones that do it. That should tell you something right there. There's many things that animals do in the animal kingdom that we don't do as humans. We drink milk. No animal past infancy drinks milk. We static stretch. No animal on the planet static stretches. They all do active movement patterns, okay? That's even primates hanging in the trees. That's an active movement because you're hanging on. Brachiation, for example, that's what that is called. That's incredibly healthy to lengthen the fascia and create more balance in the body. So we like to really use an overhead squat as a simple movement that you can do at home. You can do it with a broom, you can do it with a pipe, you can do it with an Olympic bar, you can do it with kettlebells or dumbbells, whatever means that you want to do it, but there's ways to do it right and there's ways to do it wrong. Okay, so what I want to show you guys is how to do an overhead squat properly, and it happens from the feet all the way through the hands. I'm going to walk you guys through it here. Okay? So, first off, whenever you do a squat, you want to make sure that your knees, let me get this set up here. You want to make sure that you get your knees lined up, tracking towards your big and second toe. If your knees fall in, for example, like this, or they bow out, that means that your knees are not lining up properly with your feet. Let me put it over here so you guys can see me a little better. Okay? Now, if you look at my knees, my feet, if my feet are pointing in, my feet are pointing out, my knees follow pattern with them, no matter where they go. But if my feet are toed out like this right now, and my knees knock, that means my arches of my feet aren't strong and they're not in balance, so I gotta work the arches. That means put the foot in neutral, and it lines up my knees. Second level, as I'm squatting, if you lack ankle flexion, if you can't sit hips below knees, then what's going to happen is you won't be able to bend your ankles a lot. That means you got to bend over from the waist a lot, That in itself, my friends, is what causes more back problems than almost anything out there. You got to get full range of motion in the ankles. You need to track the knees towards the knees got to track towards the big and second toe. You got to keep the chest and butt out. And then if you're going overhead, you need to keep those arms at 12 o'clock. So I'm going to demonstrate this now using a bar You can use, like I said, you can use a broom, a mop, a stick, a jump rope, a yoga strap, a belt. You can use a piece of pipe, anything, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, anything that would challenge you to keep your arms at 12 o'clock. Okay, so now watch. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself set up here. I'm gonna use a 45-pound bar. Okay, I got it overhead, and now when I come to the bottom position here, my arms are at 12 o'clock. If they're not, I'm gonna sit. You see what happens to my shoulders there? I gotta pull my arms back, but I don't want my elbows spinning out. I wanna close my armpits. That activates the muscles in my upper back. My knees are tracking towards my big and second toe. My chest and butt are out. And then as I stand, I get to full hip extension, and I keep my arms in the exact same spot. Now, if we're looking at this from the side, I want to achieve the exact same thing. From the side, you should be able to see how I'm staying in a nice extension with my body. As I sit, my chest and butt are out. My arms are at 12 o'clock. Now you don't want to bring the arms behind, because that means you're hanging in the position. You want to close those armpits, fingertips down, chest and head in front of the bar. You're actively pulling your shoulder blades back, and you're pushing the bar apart. My knees are tracking towards my big and second toe. My hips are below my knees, and I got my chest and butt out. And there's no change in the positioning of my torso as I am squatting and then standing. Okay, so what did we learn here? The goal of teaching you guys how to do this basic eye movement is, it's one of the simplest things that you can do at home to create more health in your ankles, your knees, your hips, your spine, your shoulders, and your arms. It does everything. It's a really simple movement. There's no excuse to not do it, because everybody has a mop or a broom, hopefully. If you don't have those, I suggest you go get one. But it's a simple exercise. You can do it at home. Now, if you find that your knees are collapsing, work them so they line up with your big and second toe by putting more weight on the outside of your foot. If you feel like your ankles don't bend much, use a 2x4. Use a thicker book to lift your heels up a little bit, so that allows you to sit underneath your arms more. What happens oftentimes is people just don't do it because they can't get in the right position. Well, for right now, for starters, use a heel lift, maybe 2 inches, an inch or 2 inches, that allows you to keep your spine as vertical as possible. Use a broom. Take your hands nice and wide so it allows you to pull your chest and your head in front of your arms. Close your armpits. So this is open armpits, this is closed. When you close those armpits, it wakes up and really activates the muscles in your upper back. Those puppies are postural muscles. All of these all of the muscles that are working in this movement help to increase your alignment, increase your posture, increase your overall strength, health, and well-being. Okay, so this is a simple exercise everybody can do at home. If you don't know how to do it, ask me. If you want to learn more and do more exercises like this, we do these movements every single day on our online membership site, MBG exclusive membership. We do it every single day. We train movements like this, teach people how to get balanced at home, anywhere, with simple at-home equipment. Or if you want to get some bars or bells and stuff like that, all the better. But this is what we do. We're all about creating more balance in your body and challenge you to evolve it to higher levels mentally, physically, spiritually, and we try and do it every single day, so it's part of your life. It's not a short-term goal, it's part of your life. I hope this inspires you all to take up doing some overhead squats and challenge yourself to evolve to a higher level every single day. All right, peace.